7. That one's almost 7:01. So whatever clock you want to go to. At least that one doesn't say 6:01 right now. We still have an hour because we didn't move the clocks forward an hour. All right, well, I want to welcome everyone to our March Property Owners Association meeting. I know that the luck of the draw was our meeting was on lucky St. Patrick's Day, huh? So I know we see some in green. I got a little bit of green shirt here. We have somebody, one of our board of directors, who's wore green today. So thanks for coming on a day where I know all their activities going on in the villages, because it's important to be able to have you all come to hear things about what's going on within the Property Owners Association, and then we have our speakers to hear what's going on within the community. In this case, our annual update from Cheryl Chestnutt on things going on with the hospital. But when we get started here, what we're going to first do is stand for a Pledge of Allegiance and then a moment of silence for our first responders and our military that are in action over there in the Middle East right now. Thank you very much. I'll be seated. So just to cover a few things associated with the POA that we got, sort of that's what we like to do. Our format is sort of cover some initial administrative things and whatnot, and then after that we'll go into our speaker part. We sort of hold any questions until the end of the speaker part, especially since we have microphones that you have to be able to speak into the microphone so we can capture it because we're live streaming each of the meetings. And that might be why some people aren't here, is because they're home drinking their beer and watching the meeting online. You know, their green beer right now. You know. Yeah, well, at the squares they can watch it on their phone. You know, because obviously we got Facebook, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute too. Want to mention our board of directors that we have here. We got Cliff in the back and Ken in the back. We have Karen over here, and we have Tita right over here. We don't have tonight Dan. He couldn't make the meeting here tonight. So your board of directors, just to sort of give you an idea of what's going on, since I took over as the president of the POA starting in January, as Cliff still is part of our organizational structure, but he said his time as president was long enough, and he wanted to take a little break from that. And so as everybody else took a step back, I didn't take a step back fast enough. So I got it. But anyhow, we're trying to get into a structure that has our board of directors of about 7 people. That will be our voting board that takes care of all the business associated with the POA. And then we'll still have board members that take care of helping us with all the other business we have to do. And then volunteers like Mike right here and Donna in the back that help us with the audiovisual aspects of everything and getting everything on Facebook, or helping us with membership and that. So that's how we sort of going to be operating our board going forward. But we also appreciate having some of our organizations present. So we have Coop and Nanette from our Realty Executives and Bob's from Seniors versus Crime in the back. So please feel free to always stop and see them and see what information they can give you from a realty standpoint or Seniors versus Crime, since we are a targeted audience here in the villages for many a thing. Other thing that I want to be watching out for, I'm going to try and see if we can get it into the magazine and Facebook and maybe even into like Village News or whatnot, is there are going to be positions as we create this structure that I'm looking to put into play for board members and volunteers to help us. As we always say, more hands makes the work easier and gets more things done. So the more I can get members of our POA to give their hands in helping us get everything done, the better I think we can do. But you need to know what are those positions. You need to have an idea what that's about, and we'll try and get that out there. And then I'll just encourage anyone to then follow back up with us to try and see about helping in those areas. Shredding event, we got that coming up this Saturday. A lot of you have already signed up for that because you needed to get a ticket for it. We are down to about 60 tickets left. So if you hadn't gotten your ticket yet, and if you've seen this on Facebook Live and you hadn't gotten your ticket, you got only a couple days to get that done. You have to your dues have to be current, And then you need to, if you got current dues, just send an email to POAshredding87@gmail.com to get a ticket. And we're trying to then email that ticket back to you so you're ready to go for Saturday. That'll be running from about 9 to 12 on Saturday. Next, we're going to have, coming up on April 2nd, down at Everglades, will be our bingo night. And that is the first time we're going to try running this down there. And so bear with us as we do it, because we'll be newbies at trying to run bingo. And, if we get off on the dollars, don't worry. We'll just keep the rest of our dollars, and we'll give you whatever we're able to figure out. But if you want to sign up for bingo, you have to register at poabingo1@gmail.com. So it's poabingo1@gmail.com. You don't have to be a member of the POA, but if you are a member of the POA, it's $10 to get into the event, whether you're a member or not a member. But if you're a member, you get 2 free bingo cards. Everyone else is going to have to pay to get their bingo cards. So another good reason to be a member of the POA. And we're going to try and run 10 games at that event. And again, at Everglades on April 2nd, the doors will open at 6:30, and we'll start promptly at 7. Facebook. We have been trying to really ramp up our Facebook. Karen Martin is right over here. Karen is, we put her on contract to really try and really make that thing a whole lot better than it was, because that is a way where you can really keep track of things on a fairly quick basis from your phone, from your computer, and whatnot. Just to give you a little bit on the growth and outreach, 3,283 Facebook followers right now, which is about almost a 10% increase over previously. Posts, people viewing the posts are up 373%, so almost 104,000 total views to date. 76% of the views are from non-followers, showing that the boosted posts are successfully extending our reach beyond current followers. So again, if you're on Facebook and you know how to set up to follow, you know how to set up and like and everything like that, great, keep doing it. You'll be getting information on that one. If not, Karen is here, so you could always ask her a couple questions after the meeting today about how to do that. We're looking to set up maybe into the future some videos on our website, which is villagespoa.org, that you can maybe help be almost a tutorial on how to get set up on your Facebook if you're not there, because that will really help you. Moving forward, we're going to look at engagement focus, like total engagements, engagement rate, comments, shares. Then our goal is to have the residents not just see posts, but be actively engaged with the stuff that's on Facebook. Because you can put comments in there and things like that. And we always appreciate seeing the comments and things that go on with that. We're going to then have fun and interactive content into the future, be polls and quizzes, community questions where you can ask things there, light engaging posts to encourage participation. So again, it's one of those things where, yes, you can go out there and view things, but now you can interact on the site out there too. So it's a good way electronically to stay connected within the community and whatnot. So I highly encourage folks to start getting involved with the POA Facebook page there. If you do have any questions related to things going on within the villages and whatnot, just like we'll have questions for our speaker at the end of the session of her time speaking, at the end of the meeting, please feel free to visit with any of us on what questions you might have individually. If we see that there's ones that are key and pertinent to everyone, we'll probably bring those back at another meeting and just list those as here was a question and here was the answer to it, because if we see that it would be of interest to everybody to know that answer. But otherwise, it's a chance to ask anyone. And you do have, some of us are involved with other parts of the villages here. We're either boards of supervisors, we're on committees and whatnot associated with it, many authority committees, things like that. So we're tied into the community more than just being a POA that's to the community. So feel free to reach out to any one of us afterwards. And we usually have sometimes some other boards of supervisors that are in the room here that can help you with that too. Want to make sure you understand our upcoming events. So as I said, bingo on April 2nd at Everglades. April 21st, we'll be right back in this room here. Patrick Walsh from Real World, he's assistant manager. We'll be talking about our waste collection and how they get rid of our waste collection and whatnot. I think it's a pretty enlightening talk on how they take care of that. And not just, you know, how they break some of that material down and get it out that's can somewhat be recyclable, but not totally in that case too. And then on May 19th, we'll be at Rohan because this room is going to be closing down for air conditioning repair or its need for a new air conditioner in May through July. So on May 19th, our second Thursday of the month meeting we always try and have, we'll be at Rohan, and David Costo from the Sumter County Emergency Management Director will be here to talk about hurricane preparedness. Then on June 16th, we're going to go to another place. We're going to go to La Hacienda, right over there towards Spanish Springs. And at that one, we're going to do what we call Celebrate USA 250th with a patriotic message. So we're sort of building through that. Tita sort of works some of our member meeting things that we're pulling together. So she's got some ideas, some others have some ideas, and we'll see how we're going to make that a patriotic theme as we get ready to celebrate our 250th in July. And then on July 21st, we're going to be back over at Rohan again, and Bradley Honor will be talking about the Sumter County budget. He's the Sumter County Administrator. So those are some of our upcoming meetings. I think they're great ones that you ought to try and attend. You get more out of it when you do attend, but if you can't, then we create avenues for you to be able to watch it and see it and be informed online. And that sort of takes care of any announcements that I have at this point in time. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and introduce Cheryl Chestnutt and let her be able to speak to us here. Oh, one last point, and this was brought up by Tita. We're always looking for topics of interest and obviously the speaker with that topic. We have some ideas. You heard the things we got going on through July. But if you got any ideas that you like, go to our Villages POA website, .org website. You can see my name on there and my email address. You can see Tita's name on there as far as the list of directors and officer positions. So you got her email address. Send us an email. Let us know what kind of topics interest you and a speaker for that topic, and we'll see how we can fit that into the overall schedule. Okay, now let's go on here. So first, I want to say Cheryl Chestnutt, Vice President, Administrator, Chief Nurse Officer, Bottle Washer. No, I'm just joking.
No, it's true. It's true.
With the UF Health Central Florida. And we look forward to hearing your discussion of that.
Thank you.
So, can you use this mic there, or you got that
This
mic?
is good. It's hard to believe it's been 1 year since I've been here. I actually looked at my slide deck from last year, and I actually looked at the last 2 years previously. It's great to be here. I was sad to hear that Cliff had chosen to step down. I think the world of him, but I believe that you're in great hands now as well. Not much has changed with me in the last year. You know that we had talked about this last year. I still have my 2 kids, still have my boyfriend, still have my 2 cats. My oldest cat is hospice, I think. He's getting old. But it is great to be back here again this year. This will really follow the same format as we have done the last 2 or 3 years. Really, we will go over, performance, what's going well, what do we still need to work on? What is not quite right? And there are those things as well. We will go over team. This was a hot topic the very first year that I was here. As you may know, that the workforce really was hit hard during and after COVID. So we will go through that work, as well as growth. What does it look like for us for UF Health? Most of this really that we'll focus on 1 to 2 slides. There's a lot of information, and I will try not to take too long. And if you start to yawn, then that's fine. I wanted to start off with the video. There is no words, to hear. That there is some background music. It's really not. That's not important for you to hear that. But what I want you to see is just the busy work that we have done within the last year. I think I may trip on this cord, so I just need to stand put. This is where we will spend most of our time. The other areas are of interest, I am sure, but everybody likes to talk about this, so we will go through this part. This you can see as our scorecard every year that I have been here. Is there any way to take this out? Okay, I got it. Sorry. Every year that I have been here, we have really gone over the same things, and this is our fundamental work that we do every single day. This is the same scorecard that Gainesville has, that Jacksonville has, that Leesburg has, and also Flagler. They set our goals for us, and the better we do, well, then the harder the goal is to hit. Those are set for us by the corporation up in Gainesville. If you look at the right-hand side, Spanish Plains, first of all, I will orient you to the key at the bottom. Stretch is blue, target is green, threshold, is yellow, and then if you need to improve is red. Just of note, to understand, fiscal year for us is July 1st to June 30th. So when I talk about first and second quarter, that is like July through September is the first quarter, and so on. So up here, you can see this was at the end of this year. We are not quite through with March yet, so I do not have a scorecard yet. So on the right-hand side, you can see Cotty Sur is red. Our goal is 0. That is the goal that we were given. So the Sur rate is is kind of the denominator for our Foley catheters. So this is important for us because this is how we prevent infections while you're in the hospital. So we had one catheter-associated infection with the Foley back the first week of August. Even though we haven't had one since, we had a goal of 0. We may eventually get to the yellow threshold by June if we don't have any more. So hoping to be there. It's great to have a goal of 0. When they told me that earlier, I gasped. It is a lofty goal, but it is a very, very important one because our work has been very strong. Next is CLABSI. This is a central line associated bloodstream infection. If you've ever had a central line, well, you know that it goes right into the part of your venous system that you could really grow bacteria if we don't take care of it the way that we should. You can see that we're blue. We have had 0. More mortality. I actually looked back today from 4 years ago, and our rate was I actually wrote it down, 1.10. Over the national benchmark, not where that we needed to be. Currently, we are a 0.55, and that's an O over E, for those of you that like to know. And this is set for, and the goal is based on a community hospital. So we are actually doing very, very well. Then the 30 days. Do you come back and it's unplanned after you have been discharged? The national average is 13 to 14. We are less than 10. I can tell you last year we were about 16%, which means more of those that we serve were actually coming back within 30 days, which meant that we were not coordinating care well. We still have opportunity here. You can see that Leesburg is red. A length of stay also looked back for 4 years ago. We were a 1.25. Anything less than 1 is the gold standard for us, and that's important so that we don't keep you too long, so you don't fall, so you don't get an infection, and we can give a bed to somebody else that needs it. CMI is really just our our DRG or our illness adjusted, how sick is our population. And then left without being seen are those that are in the ER. How many of them leave without being seen by someone? The gold standard is really less than one, and we are doing well. I will say 3 or 4 years ago, this was about 4 to 5%. So it was actually very, very high. So, that sometimes it is great to look back at the work. The last part is likelihood to recommend. This is where we really have work to do. We actually spent some time today, and you can see that Leesburg does as well. Likelihood to recommend means when our patients get the survey at home, they have to give us a 9 or 10 and or an always. An 8 doesn't count, it counts as a 0. A 6 doesn't count, it counts as a 0. So this piece for us, we already know. We actually have done some work in looking at everybody's comments. It is coordination of care. It is, do you understand what the plan is for you? I would say we need to improve that. Whether that it's physician, whether that it's nursing, that is one piece for us. The other is courtesy. I think there is opportunity. I don't think that I know, actually, that there is opportunity that everybody that you encounter should be as nice as I am. There is opportunity. We could make excuses. I could say, well, the generation, they only talk to their phone. There's many, many things that we could say. But ultimately, that if an 18-year-old at Chick-fil-A can say my pleasure and smile, we should be able to do that as well. This is what I wanted to share today, actually, which is you could see here, the CLAPSI, the number 2 line is blue. We have gone 365 days without a central line associated infection. We're actually at 390 now, but we have a party tonight at 8, and we actually had a party this morning. It takes everybody to take care of patients. I have worked in a lot of places in my career. I'm getting close to 30 years in healthcare, and I have never worked somewhere where I've had an entire hospital that is able to say that it's been 365 days. And this really is, we are aggressive. Assertive is probably a nicer word. And we actually look at every line every single day, and we actually talk about them. So afterwards, if the questions go on for too long, I'm not trying to cut you off, but I do have to return to work for the night shift party tonight. And as you see, it finally happened that we're an A. Cliff had told me I would get a cake and flowers if it ever happened, and they never showed up. Maybe he sent them elsewhere. No. This is, you can see up here that our grade was a 3.4167. And if you look down here, anything above a 3.202 was an A. Every year, the cutoff changes. It just depends on what the nation does with the movement. This is really going from a C to an A, and we skipped the B. It blows my mind. I actually didn't believe it, and like my hand started to shake. But this really is just a testament to the great work that the team does. And I couldn't be more proud, because this helps to demonstrate the care that you receive. I was told when I started this would never happen, and I'm one of those. Many of you probably are the same way. I think to myself, watch me. Last week on Tuesday, we got word that Spanish Plains Hospital, you can see it down here, that from health grades, we have been recognized for being in the top 10% of hospitals for patient safety within the U.S. They chose 438 hospitals out of 40 states, and all the data is coming from CMS. It's not coming from us. Really that they look at 13 measures. It's if you fell in the hospital, did you have a fracture? Did you get a central line infection? Did you get a C. diff infection? There are certain things that they look at, and this actually makes me very proud of the team, because I know what this means. This means lives, and this means all of you here, and it means I can be a patient in this hospital as well. Oh, I will go back and say this, because somebody's going to ask me, so I might as well say it now, that you're going to say, what about CMS star rating? Last year, we were a 2. And if you've heard me the last few years, I have said it that the data is very much lagged. It's 2 to 3 years out. I already have our May data, but I'm unable to share it with you because it's embargoed. But there is improvement, and I'm very proud. Strengthening the team. The team actually, and I think that we talked about this the first year. Without the team, we don't have anything. COVID really did a number on healthcare, which, as you can just imagine, it was a very, very tough time. I know when I started in 2021, at the very last wave, we had halls closed because we didn't have enough staff. We had 75 travelers. At this point, we do have every bed open, and we do not have any agency staff. So this is the work that we have been doing. Now, this is second quarter, of course, but you can see turnover, we are at our stretch goal. I can tell you a year or 2 or 3 ago that we could not say that. This is just showing July, which was the beginning of the year, a fiscal year, to the end of the year. Now, this is Leesburg. This is also Spanish Plains. This is nursing. This is and this is also ancillary. You can see the nice trend line going down. This is what I'm most proud of. This is the nursing turnover for us, and we are the red line. So it was 38 point. It's hard for me to see because I'm blind now. 38.53, and as of Christmas, we're 19.05. So what does this mean? It means better care. It makes it easier, right? Outcomes will improve if we can keep our staff. So I would like to just talk through a few ways that we have changed this. And this is a big deal. That I meet with every leader every month, and we go over every single nurse or tech that has left, that chose to leave. Not ones that maybe we had to let go because of behavior, but those that chose to leave, we try to talk to them, try to see if there's something that we can do, and that in itself has been important. But leadership stability, accountability for checking in with their team. If they are new, it's 30, 60, 90-day check-in. And what's not up here is we actually, next month, are going to be starting a text survey for those that are new. Just a 10-question, how's your onboarding, how's your manager, how's your team? So that we know early, that if there's something going on. Stronger hiring. And onboarding fundamentals. During COVID, we hired because we needed help. Maybe some of those that we hired may not have been who we would hire today. So hiring for the fit is key. Also, consistent leader presence, frequent touch points, and then rounding, especially during stressful times. I will tell you, I don't have it up here, that this winter has been extremely hard. We have had holds in the ER. We have been extremely full, record volumes for us. A lot of the villages have chosen to come to us, but we are very full. It's starting to slowly. The trend is coming down, which is great. Maybe those are starting to go back up north, but during very stressful times, staff wants to see the leader. And then really better data to early warning signs, and then really trying to just compete with our compensation. Again, this is pretty much the same thing. So I myself meet with every employee in a group, if they choose to, between the 60 90 day. It is a group, and I ask three things, and I said this last year, which is what has gone well since the point of hire, what is something that we could improve on, and if you were me, what would you do? I get all kinds of things. The inside scoop, again, is really quarterly of listening sessions, and then at the 3-year mark, having lunch with the CEO. Mobile stroke unit, many of you have probably seen it struggle to go around the roundabouts. Really has been serving a great purpose for us. I had to write down the numbers, so I'm going to read this. That this started back in July the 23rd is when they went live. They have had 596 calls. Which is a lot. And 29 of the 536 needed a clot busting drug in the ambulance. The fastest time of when we gave it was 7 minutes. So from the door of the ambulance, there's the CT, takes 2 to 3 minutes, to the time that we gave it was at 7, which is actually great, because if we were to bring you in, it always takes longer. Then our large vessel occlusion, we've done 10 of those, which is where you have a clot within your large vessel there in your head. And of course, we wouldn't give you a clot buster, for that. And we've been able to treat 9 of them. One of them had to go to Shands. But I will tell you, it may seem like a small number, but there's been a few of them halfway through that procedure that they're able to move their feet, hands, or the side that has been affected once the clot is removed. So getting quick access to care, time is brain, just like time is your heart muscle as well, is key for this. We are putting in some new equipment, and we plan to go to Comprehensive Stroke Center in 2030. And really, it's about having the right care at the right time here, so you don't have to go elsewhere. Growth for us as well. As you know, hospital-based ERs, Leesburg, Spanish Plains. And then our freestanding ER is Brownwood. And I think it's been 5 years that they have been open, doing very, very well. We are actually opening up a freestanding ER/urgent care in Oxford by the end of the year. So I don't know if you've been over there, Oxford off of 301. It's across from there. We do have more growth planned, and the work continues. But one other exciting thing that we have done is breast care here, so that you don't have to go elsewhere. I will say from personal experience, don't write this in the POA newsletter, but I needed to have a mammogram, and it took me 3.5 months to get an appointment here, and I work here. So, and that was with another group before we were able to do this. So we started a comprehensive breast services. Dr. Rohaki has been here for 2 years, and he is our breast surgeon. If you have not been to the hospital, it's over there close to where the coffee shop is on the first floor, and we do plan to grow. A lot of the work there is the DEXA scan right now, and then also mammograms. This is for women's health. I will take any questions. Oh, here's where the cake's going to come and the flowers. No, I'm just kidding.
Cheryl, I got to tell you this. I'm sure you know it. I started this process with the hospital 10 years ago. For the first 2 years, they wouldn't even talk to me. And then Mr. Henderson came along, and then Mr. Pittman, and then you. The response and your honesty is above reproach. Every time I've contacted you about something, you have been forthright. I got to tell you, congratulations. This is probably the best report. And as I said to you before the meeting started, for the past year, I have not got one phone call, negative phone call about the hospital. That's the first time in my 10 years of being president that that's happened. So thank you.
If I can, Cheryl, I'd just say a few words if I might. I've known Cheryl for quite a while. I had the honor of serving for 6 years on the hospital board. We brought Cheryl in. We had a lot of problems back then, and I think everybody in this room knows it if you've been here for a while. The hospital had all kinds of write-ups being sent in. People complained about when my husband was in, they did this, they did that. And then when you would ask me, say, well, when was that? And they go, well, that was about 12 years ago, I think, right around. But all these things were coming in, and things really looked kind of dark. So we really went to work to find the best people we could possibly find. We brought in Cheryl. And I'll tell you what, that was the best move we ever made, because she might be a pretty face standing here in front of you, but boy, you don't want to get on her downside if you're not doing your job. She's tough. She gets the job done, but she does it with compassion. She does it with massive intelligence. This is one of the smartest ladies I've ever met. And she made a difference. That hospital now is doing extremely well. Anybody says to me, I don't know if I want to go there. I got news for you. I will recommend that to you anytime. My wife has gone there. I have gone there. They literally saved my wife's life. And when she talks about that stroke unit, that was one of the things we were able to accomplish. I believe there's only 38 of them in the country right now. Am I right, Cheryl? Roughly?
Yes, sorry, this is my boss sending me a text message.
Go grab that.
Do you got this? I just saw the text.
Tell Heather we said
So
that.
let me just make sure. Apologize.
Not a problem. Anyway, Cheryl came in and she took charge. When she says she talks to the employees, she doesn't only just talk to the employees, she goes down there and she watches the employees. She'll come into patient rooms. They don't even know who she is, but she'll observe and see how things are going. She takes it very, very seriously, as do most of our people there. There was a time when most of our doctors were hospitalists. They weren't on staff. They weren't on salary. That bond isn't there when you have that. A lot of the nurses were contract nurses. We had to bring them in from all over. That has changed now. We have employees there that are dedicated, that believe in what they're doing, and you are important to them. It does really make a difference. And that stems from leadership. And Cheryl is a leader that made that happen. She brought that about. So I'm proud to know you. You've done a fantastic job, and I got to see it up close and personal, and I am extremely impressed. Congratulations.
I will say this is about the team. I have some fantastic leaders that really want to do great work. And I think it's, that all of this is their hard work. It's my tears sometimes, but it is all of our hard work, and I couldn't say enough about them. I do want to say we have not arrived. We don't have everything figured out, and we don't. I don't know if any hospital does, but we still, I still do get complaints. We are not without, we aren't complaint free, right? Every once in a while, I will see something in next door, and I'll reach out to them if I can locate them. But I still occasionally will get a letter here and there, and so I don't want to act like we don't have issues because I believe every place does. So I just want to put that out there in case any of you wanted to throw a dart.
Any questions from the audience? Anything at all? No question is limited.
I want you to back the slide up to the one with your Leapfrog A, and I want to get your picture with it, smiling, for the magazine.
Do I need some lipstick? I'm just kidding.
Oh gosh, lips.
I'm just kidding. Cheering?
Smile,
Yay.
please.
Yay.
Wonderful. Any questions at all? Well, there was a time when we did this, everybody had their hand up. Must be doing something right, huh?
So knowing that each winter time there's an increase of people, as you said, you know, all the northerners come down here. What do you do to anticipate that increase?
Well, we actually hire up for the winter. We actually have what is called a seasonal pool that we employ. We have probably 30 nurses extra to make sure that we can stretch every single bed open. As you know, that we have 54 semi-private beds. During the summer, we really try to close those down. Nobody wants a friend in bed B, right? I mean, nobody does. Right. I mean, it is the number one complaint that we get every day. So during the winter, that we do have to flex up. And ultimately, it is really about length of stay. If you're ready for discharge, then we need to get you to transition safely so that if we do have a hold, that we can bring you up. The ER also overstaffed, that this season as well, just in case we were full and we had holds.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I wish I could create more beds, but I can't, so.
Thank you. Did you have a question? I was interested in this mobile stroke unit.
Yes.
Just out of curiosity.
Yes.
I'm not a doctor or anything, but if I think somebody's having a stroke, do I call 911
Yes.
and ask for the mobile?
No, that you just call them, and if they truly believe that it is, once that they arrive on scene, then they will dispatch.
I see. Oh, okay.
I attended a village club meeting of village women, and your breast surgeon was there when he was new arriving at the hospital, explaining his job, his goals, his treatment. He was very thorough. I was very impressed. I have two sons that are doctors, and this man really impressed me. And it was a pleasure meeting him, but I feel extremely confident that should I have needs in that arena, he would be a top choice for me. I was impressed. Thank you.
Great.
Anyone else over here? More questions?
I was in the hospital, the two hospitals combined 4 times since November, one of them for 4 days. And the question I want to ask that I hope I didn't miss is about your nutrition and the guidelines for nutrition. And I'm wondering if you've made any changes in that, because I know during the time I was there, the choices were pretty much processed food or a piece of plain meat. You could barely get hard-boiled eggs. You could not bring in your own food. It was thrown out when I had it brought in for me. And so I'm asking if you've made any changes in that, because when you're in there for coronary, you don't want to be eating egg beaters, which is just chemicals and things like that, or pre-made food. So I'm asking about that to start with.
Everybody there has a diet ordered from their provider. It's not something that I can order for you. So I'm going to assume, and sorry that we're going to talk about you in front of everybody, but I'm going to assume that if you're there for cardiac, it's low sodium. It could have been low fat, and it is not what you would eat if you go to Lake Sumter to eat, or to Brownwood, or to anywhere else.
That wasn't my question. Processed food, and it wasn't, my provider might have designated it, but I wasn't given any alternatives that weren't processed.
If you want
They
to,
may have said low sodium, which they did on one of the visits, but I could, for instance, breakfast was, everything was processed. It was nothing like, you couldn't get plain eggs. You couldn't get plain oatmeal. You couldn't get plain foods, and so I'm asking about that.
So what I would say is I don't have your chart here with me. If you want to come up and if you give me your name and date of birth after, then I'm more than happy, to look at it, tomorrow, and then also to follow up
And it's a
with you.
suggestion for change. It's
Sure,
I'm
sure.
out.
Yeah, that I don't want to assume and I don't want to guess. So it's just better if I can look at your chart. Yes.
Now that we have a fully functioning cath lab, a quick question. Do you foresee anywhere in the near future that the hospital will be performing open heart surgeries, bypass surgeries?
No.
We'll still be sending them to Leesburg or Ocala?
Yes. Yes.
And so does the
You also have a women's division out on 441, correct? That specializes in surgeries and that type of thing for women.
Yes. Yes.
That is one that I actually went to with my wife. She wound up having to have 3 surgeries. The doctor came out and said, well, step in, please. And then she looked at me and said, aren't you going to come in too? That's never happened before. And I thought that was so unique. And we sat and we talked and got through it. She had her surgeries. This doctor is so good that she actually combined 2 of the surgeries in a procedure that she developed. And then at the same time when that was done, did the 3rd one. So she had to go in one time. Everything was done all at once. And she made a phenomenal recovery. She is living a great life now. I hope so anyway. Anyway, congratulations on that. So if women need special care, you sure have a division that'll handle that. So.
One more down over here.
Okay. Every time I go by the helicopter, I wonder how often it's get used and what would be the circumstances that the helicopter would go up to Shands, I presume.
This is the busiest spot for a Shands helicopter, if you could believe it. That they have them up in Gainesville, and up in the counties up there. But the helicopter there will serve for Leesburg as well as Brownwood. We were finally able to put in a helipad last year. So what would be a circumstance? I would tell you that probably the number one thing is a bleeding type of a stroke, which is immediate interventions needed, not the type of intervention that we do. So that's the most common. Every once in a while, there's a trauma that may come in, a complicated, patient, and we just need to get them out.
Could you talk about the golden hour? We hear about that a lot on stroke. I think they call it the golden hour. You have 1 hour to make sure you take the right procedure.
Well,
Like
yes, think about it. We have billions and billions of cells in our brain. Sometimes I feel like I have more than others. I don't know about you, but at least for me. And so every minute that goes by without the correct blood flow to that part of the brain leads to a very quick death of all the cells. And some of those cells do not come back. So that's why that it's important that if you feel like that you're having a stroke, to please get help.
Okay.
There's a CT scanner right in the
Yes.
mobile unit, right?
Yes.
Any other final questions? I know that Cheryl has another event that she has to get to for a
Yay.
party and whatnot on this night. So we're going to try and let her go here in a minute. But first, I want to say, echo what Gary and Cliff have said, and that is it is shown in the time you've been here and your leadership you put to this, the team that you've gotten together on this, and your dedication to it, to include saying, I go out there and look at a next door neighbor and try and get in touch with those folks, and then you want to hear feedback from these folks come up and see you, is that you have a passion for this and you want to see it right, and the numbers are showing that it's trended that way, and we hope that you'll come back again next year and show us that that trend is still staying right there now, or even a little bit higher,
Right.
and that it shows that you constantly want to see improvement, and that's fantastic. So first, everyone, let's give her an applause. Thank you. Now, Cheryl, before you depart, I think that you might be interested in this too. Can I have Deb, Christine, and Karen come forward for a minute here, please? And Cliff? Cliff, if you come up over here, please. As you all know, and it's what we talked about, I didn't get to take that one step back fast enough, so I became the president of the POA starting in January. And Cliff obviously has relinquished that command, but we have not gotten rid of him, so he's still helping us as a board of director, and he's still doing most everything because I don't want to do any of it. No, I'm just joking with you. Anyways, three folks right here have been key to everything that's gone on, between Deb with our editor, Christine doing all of our content, and Karen doing our Facebook and helping with the other from Boom Graphics and whatnot. They've been a key part of what we get out to you electronically through the Facebook, through the magazine now. But as you all know, we used to be a bulletin that was in your driveway. But times have changed. The way people see things have changed as far as how they get their information and whatnot. Publications have changed. Cost of printing has changed and whatnot. And we saw we needed to move into the future, and that future was to go to a magazine. So I would have to say that Cliff, this is also with Sharon, because Sharon had a lot to do with it. One, she had to deal with this guy for so many years, and 10 years as president. But also, she was the one that helped work with all the delivery folks that got that POA bulletin to the driveways and whatnot. So she was really heavy with that too. But Cliff, this group here came up with an idea that I thought was a fantastic idea. And that idea is that we are taking a picture, and what we got is the last of the bulletin that we had back in September, and the first magazine that we put together in October. And then here we say, in recognition and appreciation to Cliff Warner, President, POA President 2025 to 2015 to 2025. Cliff, was with our heartfelt thanks that we say. Thanks for that, Cliff. Well, I was going to say, Cliff, do you want to say anything? But I knew you would, so.
I thank you guys for this. The last 10 years have been great. I really hope that I made a difference in the villages. Besides being the president of POA, I'm also a District 4 supervisor. I'm the chairman of that board, and I have been for the last 4 years. I have another 3 years to serve on that board, and maybe I won't, maybe I will. But I'm here to make this place better. And you guys, thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for all our volunteers. Please come to the bingo and come to the shredding event. Thank you.
Okay, and that concludes our meeting for this evening. Again, thanks, Cheryl, for that. Giving us a wonderful presentation there, and we have donuts in the back here for everyone. And then said bingo on April 2nd, and then back here on in April for our presentation from Real World.